and welcome to Slated for More. Today, we are going to be talking to Laura, and she is an expert photographer. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell us about your business and how long you've been doing it.
Okay, my name is Laura McPherson, and I am located in Winfield, Kansas. And my business is Elephant Juice Photography, and I think I've been doing it almost 10 years.
Well, what is a day in the life of you like, and what has surprised you about what it's like to be a photographer from when you started?
Well, probably what surprised me most is that no day is the same. So it's kind of hard to describe a day in the life, but I mean, it's not just taking the pictures, obviously. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes besides editing, as far as like client correspondence, and bookkeeping, which is the not so fun part of it, especially for people with creative minds like me.
Do you do that yourself?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So yeah, just kind of every day's different, but I have sessions usually pretty much every day. If they're outdoor sessions, are in the evening. And if they're newborn, then they're here in the studio, which is where we're at. So
yeah. Do you think, like, what was it like when you first started? You probably didn't have sessions every day.
No. Yeah, I did not.
How did you go about getting the word out that you existed and getting clients?
Just word of mouth is like how I get my clients now, and social media obviously is a huge part. And when I started, I think there was Facebook. Yeah.
What year was it?
2009.
Yeah.
I think I had like just kind of gotten on Facebook. So I didn't really use it then, I guess, mostly just word of mouth and friends telling friends that, hey, I have somebody that takes pictures.
Right.
And getting my clients that way. So.
And you also do email lists, like once you have clients kind of signed up.
Yeah. Then I have an email. I use a company that I can store everyone's email on, and then I can also have a link on my website so people can sign up even if they're not already clients, but they want to hear my specials, or whenever I'm doing like minis or something, then they can get an email about that. So.
Well, it seems like you have a lot of clients that are even outside of this area.
Yes.
That come to you, like percentage wise, how many do you think are from?
I just said this to somebody the other day, and I think probably maybe a little over 50% of my clients are not from Winfield.
Yeah.
I have a lot that come from, well, I think I just did some winter mini sessions here, and I think the majority of those people were not from Winfield. Wichita, Derby, Mulvane, and then I have lots from Oklahoma. And then I have loyal clients that have moved to Colorado, Texas, and they will come and see me when they're back in town too. So,
well, what's the hardest part about, like, other than the accounting, what's the hardest part?
Probably just like staying on task, because there are just so many different things to do.
Right.
Like right now I'm in the midst of my busy season, so all I really want to be doing is editing. But I mean, obviously I have a family and a house too, so that's super distracting when you're working from home. But also you just have to remember you got to keep on the bookkeeping, and people are constantly this time of year emailing and wanting sessions or things like that. So,
well, what inspired you to become a photographer?
Having my first child, I think. My degree is in interior design, and I graduated from K-State in 2002. And so I worked in that field in Wichita, driving back and forth for, I don't even know how many years I did that. Probably 3 years. And then I was the director at a nonprofit arts council here in town, and had Barrett. And when he was about 6 months old, I quit my job, and I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to have to do something to sustain our family while staying home. So I think at that time blogs were really big, and I had a blog, and lots of people were like experimenting with photography and all the crazy editing and things of the 2008 2009. So that just kind of got me started, and then I just
fell in love with it.
Yeah, lots of research and learning online and workshops, and just teaching myself how to use Photoshop and all of that, because I had never really used that. So
So what motivates you to keep you going?
Probably just that this gives me the freedom to be with my kids,
Right.
make my own schedule, and I get to take them to school every day. I get to pick them up from school every day. I get to go to their class parties, and I can just kind of
Right.
schedule around that. So, for the most part, I mean, I do miss some if they're in like sports or in the summer we have baseball. I do miss some things because I work in the evenings at
Right.
sessions, and if I shoot weddings, then I miss things on the weekends. But
Well, that's actually a big piece. I mean, that's the whole point of Slated for More is there is so much out there. You don't have to be tied down to a desk 8 to 5. You
mhm.
don't have to be somewhere where somebody says when you can and can't leave a building, and maybe even to the point of when you can and can't go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there is more out there and you have options. And I think it's just important, when you're growing up, even now, I feel like schools do a better job of it now, explaining that there are all these alternative options outside of just working in an office or being a doctor or a lawyer.
Mhm.
But I feel like the more voices that can be out there to kind of spread that word, the better. So
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
why I asked you to speak with me today.
Okay.
So tell us about how you came up with your company name, because I think that's a big struggle for everyone trying to
Yeah.
come up with a name.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, when I first started, blogs were a huge deal. And so I kind of made my own personal blog to share kind of like DIY things we did around our house. And obviously Barrett was born. So I shared pictures of him on there. And it was just, I named it Elephant Juice. Just because I thought it was fun for a blog name. My husband and I are high school sweethearts. So it was kind of just a little inside thing we had. If you mouth elephant juice,
Mhm.
it looks like you're saying I love you. So it's kind of random, but it's cute. So when I started my photography business, my my younger brother, Brandon is a graphic designer, and he was the one who said, "Well, why don't you just use elephant juice? It's a little more memorable than Laura McPherson photography." So
Right.
that's what I did. So
I agree. So if you were speaking to someone just starting out, um, what would be your first steps? What would you recommend they do first?
probably just a lot of research um, about what exactly it takes to own your own business, I guess, for starters. Because I mean, lots of people might just think, oh, I love taking pictures and that would be fun. But like I
Right.
said before, there's just so much more to it. And I mean, even I really didn't know all that when I got started. So I just kind of had to, I mean, I did do a lot of research and um, as far as learning and things go. But as far as the business side of it, I kind of just had to learn that away along the way. So I would just recommend maybe talking to someone that owns a small business
So any
or
business, just really
yeah,
learning the
yeah,
business
I
side
think so.
first.
Yeah, I would say so. And my dad is an entrepreneur. He has had several of his own businesses. So I kind of grew up with that,
Hmm.
entrepreneurial fire in me too. I get it from him probably. So,
Right.
but yeah, I would just say anybody that owns a small business.
All right. So how would, if someone was just starting out, maybe someone just coming out of high school or maybe even college,
Mhm.
how would they go about figuring out how to structure their rates? Do they look at their local market, or how
Mhm.
do they go about doing that?
I mean, I would say several things apply to that, but like I said before, just research um, what other photographers are charging in your area, because I know like prices in Kansas, even for me, experienced, are a little different than what you'll find in like California and places
Right.
like that, even Colorado. So what the pricing is in your area, and then of course your experience. I mean, I adjust my pricing every year. I also kind of change my offerings and things like that. So it just kind of depends on what you're offering too.
Right. Do you see the majority of people who are kind of starting out, the people that you've seen, are they focusing solely on photography, or are they doing a variety of things?
I would say most of the ones I've seen are solely on photography.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that I know of.
And then I have to ask, but with all the technology advancements, I feel like some people think, well, I could just take a picture with my phone.
Yeah.
and it's fine.
Yeah, people do think that.
do you, like, how do you combat that?
Well, I mean, have you seen the new iPhone? Like, one of my clients had it at a session, and she was like, "You got to see this. I just got this." And she was taking a picture and showing it to me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what do you need me for?" But no, really. I mean, for me, it's like, it's the whole experience. And I mean, my style has kind of evolved over the years, but pretty much my style is capturing the moment. I'm not really a posed photographer. So, I mean, I guess that's something that you can't just get with a phone or an entry-level camera. For me, it's like the whole experience.
Well, and for me, so Laura actually shot my wedding photos. I'm sure I will put one of them in this video somewhere.
And it was the first wedding I'd ever shot. So
yeah, I emailed her begging her to shoot our wedding photos. So she graciously agreed. And yeah, it was fabulous. I mean, everything was great. And everybody, I mean, even like a couple years later, I remember I did a photo album and I was showing some girls I worked with. I had a new job and showing them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, these are beautiful. I love them." And like, yeah, she did a good job.
It was nerve-wracking though, because I had never shot a wedding, and weddings are like a whole different ballgame. But
they are. I don't think I could
survived.
ever do that. I mean, what if you miss
a
the
lot
kiss?
of pressure. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
you know. Oh,
I haven't done that before, so like,
man,
knock on wood. But
well, I am super excited that you talked with us today. And why don't you tell everyone how we can find you?
Well, social media. I am on Instagram, is where the majority of my stuff goes these days. Just at Elephant Juice Photo. And then I'm on Facebook, Elephant Juice Photography, and I have a website as well, elephantjuicephotography.com.
Isn't it so funny that we like
kind of forget about
websites even exist because so many people are in social media?
Pretty much, yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know. Yeah, how many people actually find me through my website? I guess you get the reports of who's Googled you or whatnot, but I think for the most part, it is probably Instagram and Facebook. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. And I will put links to everything she just mentioned down below. Bye.